This is incredible. I'm getting it.
You're getting what?
A stock.
What stock?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. Today we're going to talk about SoundHound AI, Sound Stock. The chart has been looking as ugly as every other AI quantum computing stock. After a huge run from a low of $4 to $24, we're finally coming on down nice and cheap, which is nothing more than an opportunity to buy more for the next cycle. I've been following this one since last year, back when it was at $2, back when Nvidia initially announced its investment in SoundHound, which caused the share price, if we go back in time, I've been keeping track of this one since February of last year. So almost a year, but not quite. And it's skyrocketed, and a lot of people made money on this one. I remember this bull flag here and telling people, hey, I'm positioning myself here because this is it's gonna break out and it's gonna go, and it did. A lot of people made money on this one. And guess what? The cycles repeat, right? Has a huge pump and has a huge dump. People forget that buying pressure always comes back as selling pressure. Sometimes it retraces, it comes right back down to where it started its run. Sometimes, not always. If it's a good company, it just keeps trending to the upside, much like Palantir, right? Palantir just continues to go higher and higher. Nvidia just continues to go higher and higher. SoundHound, you switch to the weekly chart and you'll notice over the long term, if you're patient, it just continues to go higher and higher and higher. And eventually bottoms out somewhere, which we abused that back then. Okay. We won't jump into technical analysis just yet. We're going to look at some more fundamental things. But I just want you to know, I'm going to buy when it comes back down nice and cheap. I'm looking to buy it at the 200 weighted moving average. That is my game plan. You'll notice here, had that huge pump, came right back down to $4 around there. And guess what? It held right at that 200. Held right at that 200. Every single time it held at that 200, it was a buy. This has been the case since Nvidia's investment. So I would go as far as to say if this is going to continue, then it's a matter of being patient and disciplined and wait for it to come down nice and cheap to that 200 weighted moving average. Most people don't have that discipline. If you want to outperform the SPY gets a what? Average, what's the average return? 10%? Average return. Some of you already know this. Average return of S&P 500. So you can just play it safe and throw your money into the S&P 500 and get your 10%, right? Unless it's a bear market year, then maybe a different story. Either way, the average stock market return of the S&P 500 is about 10% annually. If you want to beat that, if you want to beat the market, because people say you can't beat the market, I disagree. People can beat the market. The problem is people don't have discipline and patience. Wait for it to come down nice and cheap to that 200 weighted moving average. Here's the best part. Well, Shades, what if it doesn't? I know some of you are thinking this. Shades, what if it doesn't come down there? What if this is the one time? Okay. Let's just assume it doesn't come down there. Well, guess what? That's what the MACD crossover is for. The best entry point is going to be at that 200 weighted moving average. The second best entry is going to be that crossover. But if we go back in time, you'll notice something very interesting. Right? You'll notice something very interesting if we go back to this huge run. So we had this huge run. There's the crossover, right? And it ran, never crossing under until here. We got a cross under right here. And you could have still sold for quite the gain right there. Because if you buy on the crossover and then sell on the cross under, you could have collected a nice about 100, 200%, depending on when you sold. And then it crossed over again, had another pump, and then crossed under, and we went down lower. After crossing under here, we crossed over again, Guess what? Where did we cross over? Isn't it very interesting? After the huge pump, where did we cross over? You see where we crossed over? Huh. We crossed over near the 200 weighted moving average. Isn't that interesting? I don't know. It just seems, to me, it just seems like a no brainer. And here's the best part: SoundHound has to recover this week. Like this coming week has to start recovering here. Like so we cannot let sellers push us down lower, because if that happens, we're gonna get a weekly cross under. We already are. We have a weekly cross under here. It's confirmed right there. There's the weekly cross under, which usually means we're gonna have weeks of downside. As you can see back here, we crossed under, and we had a one. Well, it was just one red week, really. Yeah, so we only had one red week to follow after that cross under. So it has to be a fake out. It better be a fake out and buyers step in and really push up the price, or it's going to come down lower, which would kind of coincide with it coming down to that 200 weighted moving average on the daily chart. So it's kind of all lining up. But either way, when the crossover happens, it's also a buy. Now you don't lump sum; you throw in a little bit at a time, and then if it goes down lower, you continue to add, and then you add big at the 200. See, most people don't have that patience and discipline. They don't. They don't want to wait for it to come down nice and cheap. They'd rather buy. Yeah, because they're afraid they're gonna miss out. Oh no, I'm gonna miss out if I don't keep buying as it goes down lower. You'd be surprised how such a simple strategy could get you 100% win rate and make you a lot of money. But the problem is, again, people don't have patience and discipline. Can you wait? That is the question. We waited back then. We waited back then. We waited for that crossover here. We waited for the bottom at around $4, where it kept bouncing between 4 and 6 for a nice 50%. We were abusing that back then. So you have options for days here. You can wait for the bottom to reveal itself. You can wait for the crossover or for the 200 weighted moving average. You got multiple entry points. I'm giving you the entry point strategies. There's 3 of them that I use. Those are the 3. All of them require patience, obviously, because we have not gotten a crossover since what, December 27th. We're almost a month. We had no crossover yet on the MACD. So if you're still waiting, guess what? Congrats, pat yourself on the mag. You're not buying as it goes down lower and lower. So by following and sticking to the strategy, you buy cheap. You're never going to be buying tops. That's for sure. That's for sure. You'll be buying cheaper than everyone here. Just averaging down over and over again. You're going to get the best bang for your buck. The best bang for your buck will be buying the bottom, but, well, is it going to reveal itself? We'll see. Only time will tell. So there's the strategy for SoundHound. That's what I'm waiting for. And we know they love to work with different brands, be it Torchy's Tacos, Church's Chicken, and we know that they have increasing revenues quarter over quarter, year over year, and they raised their outlook, by the way, as well. Full year as well for 2025, I believe. And then they debuted their first ever in-vehicle voice assistant with on-the-go food ordering. So you're driving in your car and you just talk to your car and go, hey, I want some McDonald's and I want it to go, whatever. And you pull up to the drive-thru and boom, it's there. Not even that, you can just park at the carry out. You can just park and they bring it to you. You no longer have to go through the drive-thru, which sucks for restaurant workers because they're going to, like, oh, we got one of these AI orders. More work for them. But then again, they have AI on their side to help them. So it is what it is. But you're going to be driving, talking to your car and telling it, hey, what's this? What's that? What's going on with so-and-so? That's the future. We're going to be communicating with our devices. We already communicate with our devices in a way, and we also use that device to talk to other people. This is the future. I still have my personal price target of $100. Do you have the patience for that? That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. And I wouldn't blame you for averaging down on this one. This one, I believe, like, this one's going to go to, like, it's going to be Palantir size to move eventually. I already showed you it's slowly going higher and higher over the long term. These price targets from analysts, I don't really listen to my price target. $100. Just shut up and buy on those entries that I gave you. Let's see. Buy. A lot of buys. Are they showing me the numbers here? Where's the numbers? They usually show you the numbers. Okay. Price target of 8. Price target of 26, 22, 777. Some of these are low. Price targets of $20 and above are the ones I would listen to. They must know what they're talking about. I don't see how you can look at this and I'll look at those Q cats. Yeah, I think someone mentioned the cats. But if you know, you know. AI is the future. It's here. It's still in the infancy stage. AI revolution. You either get in and hold it, or you stay out of it and you miss out. That's what it comes down to. I believe in this one strongly, and I'm waiting for it to. I want to get the best bang for my buck, right? What if I buy at 14 and it drops 50%, like the quantum computing stock? They dropped 50%. Everyone was telling me, "Oh, they're not gonna drop 50%. Shades, you're crazy. They're not gonna come down for you, so you can buy cheap." And it did. I hear this all the time. People want to act like they know better than me. It's not even knowing better than me. It's knowing better than the strategy. Like this is the market doesn't care what I think. It doesn't care what you think. It's gonna do what it does, and when the crossover happens, I'm buying. Or if it reaches this 200 weighted moving average, I'm buying. If it finds a bottom like it did back then, a very clear bottom. Let me go to the weekly because it's much more clear. There it is. There's that bottom. I'm buying. Let the market guide you, not me, not anyone else. Like I don't even. I just let the market guide me. I don't care what the the market doesn't care what I think or you think. That's the truth. So that's why I'm a very systems based trader. Because the market really doesn't care if I think, oh, I think it's a buy here. The market doesn't care if it dumps, it dumps. But when the crossover happens, clearly it's been a moneymaker. And I believe it will continue to be. And that's it for the video. Short, sweet, to the point. I will see you guys in the next one.